Oh, you gotta love it. What's not to love about me? Let's keep it a short list, John.
You think Mitchell Trubisky is the hottest thing since sliced bread? And look what happened.
No, I didn't think Mitchell Trubisky. He said that last time. I said I like the Bears' defense better.
Radio show on Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio.
Deals and Bonds hits one high. It's a dig, and it is on the all-time home run list.
Trainer right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. The heavyweight champion is taking the mandatory 8 count, and Foreman is as poised as can be in a neutral corner.
Left in the zone. Touchdown, Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle.
My Sports Radio. And here's your host, Sean Intel.
What's going on, everybody?
What up, what up?
Greetings.
September 30th, we are finishing this month out with a bang, baby. We're here on HamiltonRadio.net, Channel 2, simulcast on Facebook. This is My Sports Radio with your boy, John Entel. I'm here with my co-pilot, Danny MERCADO, and special in-house, in-studio
In
guest
the building.
for the second time from Simply Sports, Andy Williams. Gentlemen, what's going on?
How you doing?
What up, what up?
Guys and girls, we have an action-packed day.
You can say that again.
We have
an action-packed day.
We said it again.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we begin, Mr. MERCADO, I gave you a gift before
Yes,
before the air.
we have to acknowledge. I want to thank you very much, Andy, for
Of
welcoming
course.
me to the crew.
Thank you.
All right, I got a T-shirt, so I feel really at home now. Let me Superman this thing.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Simply Sports with Andy Williams.
By the
Let me
way,
stretch this bra out.
this is
He gave me a manzia.
he actually was showing off the dad bod for everyone who wanted to know
Oh, you like
what
it?
was going on. Yes, but listen,
Be
ladies.
home in 2 hours, babe.
I like that plug, by the way. I like that.
Yeah.
But
That's
guys,
what she said.
listen, we have a bunch on the docket today.
Yes, we do.
We have the
A ton.
power rankings, 1 to 32 in the NFL, right?
Yes.
We have our early season predictions for MVP.
We do.
The MLB playoffs are underway. We have a Stanley Cup champion, but before it all, I want to give a special shout out. We have a couple coffee mugs here in front of me. Yes, we all have our coffee mugs. We all love our coffee. But something special about these, I want to give a shout out to CKJ Designs for creating these coffee mugs for me with the MSR logos from Mystery Sports Reveals, for My Sports Radio. Guys and girls, close friend of mine, Dan Monopoly, and his wonderful wife, Carol. Homemade stuff. She's a graphic designer.
Nice.
Everyone loves businesses that start organically from home that we do. Support your friends. Support things that we can make here. Bring it home. Deliver it. It was, by the way, first of all, it's an awesome design, and they landed. They hit the nail on the head. I asked for design. I simply sent him a picture. He had it shipped to me in 2 days. So that's first and foremost.
Yeah.
The quick delivery, the safe delivery, especially if something ceramic, is paramount, right?
Yes.
Important.
Number two, anyone who starts a private business, like I did with my own business,
Yes.
right? You always want to support people. So I want to give a special shout out to them. You guys can simply go into their Etsy shop. It's etsy.com/shop/designckj. You can get your MSR mugs. And by the way, you don't have to limit yourself there. You can get any design you want. They do anything. Carol, as I said, she's a graphics designer. She kills it.
Customizable.
Customizes everything. She hammers it home. With Dan's help, obviously, they merge their talents together. During COVID, he's a DJ. He's a well-known DJ in New York. He's the guest celebrity DJ, on cruise lines, big cruise lines, dude. Harmony of the Sea is one of them. And COVID hit him hard, hit his family hard. And just like any other American family, they try and be resilient. They try and step up and be creative, and that's exactly what they did. So Dan and Carol, first and foremost, thank you for the mugs. Love you guys. Thank you for being a sponsor of the show. And guys and girls, get them. Go online, etsy.com/shop/design CKJ. Say I sent you.
Support those small businesses.
And support your small business.
Absolutely.
And support
Gotta
your small
do it.
businesses. That's the way it works. That's our sponsor for today's show. Guys, I put a lot of hard work in to the power rankings, and I want to get right into the power rankings.
You just want
right
to
now.
do it. Okay.
I want to go. I want to go
Full thrust.
in. So here's what I want to do.
Yeah.
We're gonna start from 1 down to 32. But here's what I want to do. I want to go through my list. Okay. I want to go through your list.
Okay.
I want to go. If we can pull up the ESPN's power rankings as well.
Okay.
I know you have your laptop, so if you can
Yep.
pull that up for me, and let's see the differences of what I have.
If I may,
Shoot.
you said you want to do 1 through 32. Why don't we do it Why don't we do it ascending? Go from
32
Oh,
up.
who we think the worst is? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Okay,
do that.
fine. Okay, so-
That's
so
always
here-
fun.
I think
Okay.
that would be.
So as soon as Mercado gets me this power ranking, because I want to compare. I want to compare what the quote unquote experts
Right.
will have with this panel
Yeah.
of people together. So I know he's gonna look. You got it up on this list?
I got it up.
All right, scroll all the way down for us. Let's see
Where we're
32.
going.
Okay, so for me, 32, I have a brief synopsis of why I think each one is. I have the Jets as number 32. I have them. They have the worst point differential in the NFL. Horrible coaching, and they are clearly devoid of talent.
Absolutely.
Andy, what do you have as number 32 for you?
Obviously, the New York Jets. They haven't.
Okay.
They have not been close in any game whatsoever. They are last, pretty much in every statistical category humanly possible, and the entire team is a dumpster fire. The coaching staff is a dumpster fire. I don't know how Adam Gase is still employed
Nobody does.
Anywhere.
with the team, and
And with the games he's playing, the way he's playing the games, you're not really. He
he's
can't
not-
even get a job as
he's
an
not
OC
in-
anywhere else.
He's not.
What are you
in-
doing?
Yeah, and they haven't been competitive in any game this season.
Yep, I
Hence
agree.
is why Jets worst team in the NFL.
Mercado, before you get to your pick, what does ESPN have?
ESPN has the New York Jets. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a New York Jets fan. All our avid listeners, you guys know I'm a diehard Jet fan. They're
I'm sorry.
terrible. A dumpster fire. They're worse than the debate last night. What's going on? How is Gase still employed at all? What are you doing? Why are you waiting Thursday night? What, are you gonna lose another game and then prove them wrong? No. And Jonathan, you mentioned a couple weeks ago about letting the head coach stay to keep camaraderie or something like that on the team.
Yep.
Some kind of formatted leadership.
What camaraderie?
He's the worst leader in the world you could find.
No, you're right. So here's for me. First of all, I want to say what's going on to some of our simulcast watcher listeners. Anthony Buzio, Big Pat Langston. I see Dan Monopoly is here in the building. So we do have the design team from CKJ in here. Keith, too good. How good?
Too good.
Baby. What's going on, Keith? So I agree with you. Here's for me. Continuity is important. I know that the reason why the Cowboys kept Garrett around for a long time, obviously for a couple reasons. Number one, because Jerry Jones he has a very hard time admitting he's wrong. Number two, it's because you do want that continuity. A lot of teams who have coaches with longevity tend to have longer success.
Right.
So that's the reason why I said it. But here's the thing. You're right.
But those
Gase is
coaches
not the
have
guy.
shown you things in
You're right.
previous teams, and what has he shown you on what previous team?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
He's-
Get him out.
here's-
Get him out now.
Here's the thing with Adam Gase.
Don't waste one more throw on Sam Darnold's arm.
Ryan, when he was coaching Ryan Tannehill in Miami, he was awful. Like, awful. The second Ryan Tannehill left,
Superstar.
AFC Championship.
Thank you.
AFC Championship game, excuse me. And nearly pulled off arguably what would have been arguably the biggest upset.
See, you got. I think you're looking at. I like the road you're traveling.
Yeah.
But for me, I think you're looking at this in a different light. For me, it's this one right before we move to number 31.
Yeah.
For me, it's this. He's a head coach. Too many people look into a player-for-player comparison, right? So you're looking at what they did with one player, whatever the case may be. I'm thinking macro here, okay? I'm thinking bigger picture. My problem is actually how he leaves the team. So for me, he leaves the Dolphins, okay? They're in shambles. He gets rid of Drake. He gets rid of Jarvis Landry. He gets rid of Tannehill. And now the Dolphins are ascending again, okay? And they're looking like a promising team. Why? Because Gase is gone and leadership is starting to form there. So for me, that's how I feel it. Guys, next on the list, number 31. I'll start with you now, Andy. 31, go ahead.
We may as well just stay in New Jersey, for God's sakes. The New York Giants. I mean, my God. The only reason why they're not 32, I mean, yes, the injury to Saquon Barkley, obviously. I mean, that's detrimental right there. But there comes a point now, and now we're at that point. Are we going to start thinking about Daniel Jones as a quarterback now? Because I wouldn't be shocked if they started thinking about either midseason or at the end of the season to say, you know what? Maybe we need to move away from Daniel Jones.
No.
Or
This is overreacting Wednesday from Andy Williams.
And also, too, the only reason why they're at 31 was because they were one play away from beating the Chicago Bears. That's the only reason. That's the only game that they've been remotely competitive in.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to say it. All right. So ESPN's pick is the New York Giants. I do agree with you. We got to stay in New Jersey.
Thank you.
We got to go to the Meadowlands. We got to go there and evaluate. I don't think maybe they're going to go away. Knowing the history, again, we talked about history.
Correct.
On the NFL. I don't think the Giants organization is going to go away from Daniel Jones.
Correct.
I think they spent too much money. I think they've already gotten everything ready to line up for him. I think they want to set the tone for him. But the only saving grace right now for the New York Football Giants is that the Jets play earlier than them.
So I'm
That's the only thing. Other than that, they are scheduled for worse than they may be tied at the end of the season for worst in the league.
Right.
So I have the Giants at 31.
They got less injuries than the Jets.
But here's where the Giants have been plagued. Any Giants fan will tell you the Giants' bread and butter for their championships, where they hung their hat, is their defensive front seven. Okay. The Giants have the second worst point differential. Saquon Barkley, this guy's laptop is on the fritz. He's done. It's gone. See you later. The Giants have the second worst point differential. Saquon Barkley's injured. And bad play calling.
Oh, without a doubt.
And bad play calling. By the way, you have a brand new coach in Joe Judge. He had no offseason.
Zero.
I don't want to be too critical. Okay, Daniel Jones, I see greatness in Daniel Jones, and as a Cowboys fan, I do. I see throws in him. You're going to get a Charger?
I'm going to get a Charger,
Okay,
but
go ahead.
I don't see. I mean,
I do.
Listen,
I don't see
even Geno
greatness.
Smith made a good throw now and then, but
Exactly.
he's not
Thank
great.
you.
A few good throws at the NFL level does not cut it.
No.
Exactly.
You're right. But here's the thing. You're right. But the thing about it is this. You have to understand, with no offensive line, okay, and your weapons now. Your weapons.
Yeah.
are Darius Slayton, who's in his second year. Darius Slayton's very promising.
Oh,
okay?
absolutely.
And Saquon Barkley is arguably the greatest running back in football. So the fact of the matter is, you have no offensive line, you have a young wide receiver, and you have no running back anymore.
Here's the thing. In game one, when they went against Big Ben Roethlisberger had more rushing yards than Saquon Barkley. Can you please explain that?
I can easily. The Pittsburgh Steelers have the best run defense in
I
all of
understand
football.
that, but
they're the number 2 defense, so I can explain it very easy. The numbers do not lie. I can explain it very easy. The Pittsburgh Steel Curtain Steelers are going to be doing that all season. So we cannot be but I'm a Cowboys fan. You're
so
a Cowboys fan.
Yes.
We cannot be overly critical of actual football when we have to be able to recognize what's going on the field. The Giants are not a good team, but with that being said, we have to be able to see through the smoke. The fact is, Daniel Jones is a young quarterback with no offensive line. Where else have we seen that? The New York Jets. The only difference is the New York Giants are a franchise.
And they have weapons.
The New York Giants, who?
The Giants, they have weapons.
Who?
Slayton.
You said weapons. Who?
Slayton is
Slayton.
a weapon.
And?
That's all I got for you.
So don't say weapons. So say weapon. We have to stop. Bro, weapons is Dallas.
Oh, yeah. I'm not
We're
debating
gonna get into that, but
I'm not debating that.
But the fact that we have to stop saying things, we have to stop emphasizing things when they just don't make sense. I'm not coming to the rescue for Daniel Jones. They're number 31 on your list, my list, his list, ESPN for a reason.
Yes.
Because they suck. But what I'm telling you is when we look at it, Andy, we have to be able to differentiate. Do they suck, right? Or is it because they're also devoid of talent in certain areas? Right now, Adam Gase is a tenured football coach who completely blows.
Everything he touches turns to poo.
Amen. We're talking about Joe Judge, who is a brand new coach.
He's a special teams coach.
I once again agree with you. I am not saying anything, but here's the thing for me. You have to be able to give a guy in a brand new position an opportunity to be successful and implement his plan. He had no offseason because of COVID. They drafted a lineman, okay? They signed a lineman. They drafted Darius Slayton last year. By the way, before Joe Judge, tell me they had 3 first-round picks, right?
They didn't do anything with him.
They suck, but it wasn't him. So we have to give an opportunity for a guy to move forward. But listen, enough Giants talk. Let's move on.
Seriously.
Number 30 on my list, as you pulled this up.
Yep.
I'll give you mine. We'll go to Andy, then we'll go to this one. I have the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings are also 0-3. Cousins is atrocious right now. The defense is way worse than we thought it would after the trade for Njoku.
Yep.
And we are seeing exactly what not having Diggs means to that team.
100%.
Andy, go ahead, bro.
Here's where we're going to differ.
Sure.
I'm going to say the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
At number 30.
Okay.
For God's sakes, can you close out a game? For the love of God, you're up 20-0 in Dallas, and you can't close the game out.
Yep.
You're up 26-10, I believe, on Chicago. You can't close that game out.
Awful.
I mean,
Awful.
what? I don't think anything else needs to be said.
Nah,
No, and for Dan Quinn to tout himself and pound his chest a couple years ago like he's a great defensive mind, for you to blow historically the worst lead.
Yep.
Like what? How could you blow it and you do it in the Super Bowl and then you continue to do it 3 games in a row in a regular season?
Yeah.
So for me, I the reason why obviously I have the Falcons next at number 29.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Hold on. What about
Hold on.
What about the,
He's
oh,
low
you're still-
now.
Okay.
Loaded.
But listen,
Gotcha.
we'll see what ESPN
So
has
you
to-
say Atlanta next,
I said Atlanta at 29.
and I said Minnesota at 29.
So
for
we have
much
them
the same-
flip flop.
Yeah.
I have 2 historic blown leads back to back, mixed with an atrocious D.
Yep.
Which, by the way, in Atlanta has been the MO for 2 years.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan continues to put up great numbers with no help around him.
Absolutely.
And-
Julio Jones continues to be injured.
And Calvin Ridley is emerging
Absolutely.
as a top threat.
Yes.
They have no run game
Zero.
anymore.
None.
And Matt Ryan continues to put up nice numbers. I have the Falcons. And by the way, so you know, this is a coin flip.
Oh, yeah.
Legitimate.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's-
here's the reason why I had them 29 is because they had to blow 2 historic leads to be 0-3.
Right.
Or else they'd be 2-1. That's the reason why. Whereas the Vikings, they actually just look like dog duke.
Right.
The Falcons are winning. So the Falcons are blowing leads where the Vikings can't even stay in games.
Yeah.
So that's why I have for no other reason, I have
Right.
I have the Falcons
you,
above.
Yeah,
So
so
what do we
so
have?
you and I flip flop.
What do we
so
have
that's
at 30? What do we have at 30 before we move to 29?
All right.
What did you have at 30?
All right. So at 30, I was going to say the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Just because, when your number one defender goes down,
Yep.
then you lose your QB,
Fair.
then you lose your second QB. You don't know what's going on. Nobody knows who's starting.
Yep.
Your running game is questionable.
I heard you're actually starting at
yeah,
MetLife.
thank you very much.
tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm trying out this weekend. Absolutely.
My God.
Yeah, we might win a game. We might beat the Denver Broncos.
Who does ESPN have at 30?
So ESPN has Cincinnati at 30.
What?
No. Show me again. No.
That can't be right.
Show me. I can't.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I just ran through it. Cincinnati
through
at 30. Yeah.
He's fine. This is astonishing.
Wow.
Yeah,
No,
I'm very surprised.
no.
I can't believe that Cincinnati's at 30. No way. Look, New York
way.
Jets,
Yep.
Giants,
Wow,
Cincinnati
wow.
Bengals.
No.
Wow.
The power rankings are set
Wow.
at ESPN. I
Wow.
think somebody's a little bit off.
And then,
There's
what
no
did you,
way.
and then what did you have for 29, Mercado?
No, 29. 29, I was going to say Atlanta Falcons for
Okay,
29.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Where does ESPN
Now,
have
ESPN
Atlanta?
has Atlanta at 26.
26.
Yeah. So I want to go through these because
Yeah.
all right, so 29, I have the Falcons. You had Falcons.
I have Falcons.
I had Minnesota.
And you had Minnesota. All right,
Flip-flop.
fair enough.
Flip-flop.
Flip-flop,
Right, okay,
yes.
okay. 29, they got Carolina Panthers.
Wow. So, wow.
I mean, I understand the Panthers are at a lack of talent, but I think they're trying to keep their games competitive for
They
them,
fight.
for them
Right.
having nobody.
Yep.
Robbie Anderson's still catching the ball. You know what I mean? They're getting a ton of looks.
They have an okay defense.
Yeah, they're formidable. They're not.
Right.
It's nothing crazy, but I think
Yeah.
they're at least the middle of the
They're-
pack.
they're
I would
not
have
tw-
them at like 26.
They're not 29 though.
No.
So I have at 28 the Denver Broncos. And who do you have at 28?
I agree with you 100%.
So I have the Denver Broncos at 28, and what I wrote for my synopsis was injuries.
Yep.
When you have Von Miller, Lindsey, Locke, Sutton, and by the way, it's a total now of 8 guys on the IL. There is nothing that can be done for that team to be competitive. And what's upsetting, and I have to feel for Broncos fans. You don't know what you have for the future because the future can't stay on the field, and it's a scary proposition for any team. Drew Lock continues to be riddled with injuries. And when you have Cortland Sutton gone for the year, emerging as a top threat, when you have guys like Von Miller, who's arguably the greatest hybrid D-end outside linebacker in the league, Phillip Lindsay is a top 15 back, and even though they have Melvin Gordon, still
Melvin Gordon's not half bad.
no, but still, it hurts. It hurts your team.
If he wasn't there, but Lindsey would be the starter.
Yes.
So okay, so we're through. Who they have 28? ESPN.
28 ESPN. I have Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
ESPN has the Denver Broncos.
Okay, so they have the same thing as us. Okay, 27. I'll start from 27. Who does ESPN have?
Jaguars.
Okay. For me, I have the Eagles. Wentz underperforming greatly, mixed with injuries.
That's a nice way of putting it for Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that was pretty clean.
And-
Underperforming greatly. How about on the verge of getting benched?
And by the way, the fact here it is for me. The craziest thing is, so I'll let you guys deal with this right after.
Yep.
I have the Bengals one spot ahead of the Eagles. I have the Bengals one spot ahead of the Eagles because in every single game they've been in it.
Yeah.
Their point differential is virtually even.
Identical. Yeah.
Burrows is the real
It's
deal.
actually good.
They fight. It proves to be promising. And by the way, they tied the Eagles.
The Eagles, absolutely.
So for me, for that reason, I have the Bengals at 26, Eagles 27, Bengals 26. Mercado and Andy, go ahead. Tell us.
Good.
I got the Bengals flip flopped with you. I got the Bengals after the Eagles
Okay.
Okay.
because of the injuries.
Yeah.
I think Burrows gives Cincinnati a little more light at the end of the tunnel. I think even when the injuries, cease for Philadelphia and they get a few guys healthy and back, I think the light at the end of that tunnel is an oncoming train.
Exactly.
100%. I don't think Wentz is going to keep. Wentz is not a guy that that is the glue that keeps a team together. You know what I mean? He doesn't make all the players around him better. I think he's a serviceable quarterback. There's times when he plays a iffy defense or he's playing from behind. It looks like he has a good game. He's one of those quarterbacks that, Dak Prescott style. Comes back and maybe he wins, maybe he loses, but he came back in garbage time. He didn't win the game outright.
Yeah.
Right. 27 for me, and I'm going to surprise a lot of people here. I'm going to say the Houston Texans on this one. I think their defense is horribly overrated. I do. Now, I understand that you're pretty much running the gauntlet through your first 3 games. I understand that. You travel to Kansas City, you travel to Pittsburgh, and then you were home for, who were they home against? They had a home game.
The Ravens.
The Ravens.
The Ravens, exactly.
Their first three opponents are combined 8-1.
Yeah. But for God's sake, stop somebody. Stop somebody defensively. And then for 26, I have Philadelphia.
Okay. Ahead of the Bengals? Not ahead of the Bengals.
No. I have.
You have the Bengals ahead of Houston.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Yes, I do. I think Joe Burrow.
That's a
I thought
think that's tough.
That's a
I
statement.
thought that
That's-
Joe Burrow
I think
has
he's reaching.
showed me more in 3 games. Because at the beginning of the season, I had the Bengals maybe winning 2, possibly 3 games. Okay, if they start to gel, this could be a 6 to 7 win team.
Huge if.
Huge.
I understand that,
Huge.
but I think that Cincinnati would
The
be
number 1 tight end just went down.
at 25 as of right now.
Cincy. I can't put the Texans above Cincy.
No. I have so 25.
25.
I have the Panthers. No QB, and I'm sorry to Teddy Bridgewater, but that's no QB to me, right? If I say Dak Prescott's not a QB, Teddy Bridgewater's under him, right? So no QB, no McCaffrey, rookie head coach, but they fight in every game.
Right.
So I'm not going to say that they're devoid of talent. DJ Moore is nice emerging talent. They have a nice emerging running back. Very, very young team. But that's where I have at 25 the Carolina Panthers, and these are all winless teams.
Yep. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
Okay, so-
still talking about the winner, the
So
losers.
at 24,
Oh, hold on, Daniel. What was your 25th?
For me, I had the Washington football team
okay,
at 25 with some upside at the running back position, possibly next year some upside at the quarterback position, possibly some upside. But you know what? It's a lot of possibles, a lot of what ifs. I think they're a middle of the road football team fighting for nothing. They're just going to be playing spoiler most of the year.
Yeah. And by the way, can we please mention that the NFC East is arguably the worst division in football in the
2-12.
Garbage.
and within the past decade.
2-12.
Garbage.
Nah, it's bad.
2-12-2.
I have a.
Yeah.
Oh, 2-12-1. I'm sorry,
12-1.
2-12-1. Yeah.
I have Washington at 24. They fight hard for their coach. Haskins is proving to not be a franchise quarterback. Their defensive line is great. Between Chase Young and Kerrigan, they're very formidable line. Their defense does
he out
fight
right
a
now?
lot. Yeah,
Chase Young?
Yeah, he just got injured. It's a minor, whatever.
Yeah.
McLaren is setting all sorts of records at the wide receiver position.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very nice future pieces in key places. I think will help them in the long run.
Yep.
So the Washington football team, I love Ron Rivera. They're going to need, they better hope they start to tank for Lawrence. And if they can get a QB on that team, people are in some trouble. So that's how I
can see
feel.
it.
Washington is 24 for me.
I have Detroit at 24 just because what have you done for me lately? I mean, yeah, you beat Arizona, which was a huge
lately.
upset, but
That's lately. What have they done for you lately?
but that's about it. Really. There's your lately.
So it's not what have you done
I'm
for me
talking
lately?
as a whole there, John.
Yeah, the big picture he's talking about. I got you.
Yeah,
I
I'm
got
talking
you.
about what has Matt Stafford done ever.
well, thank God we're doing a week 3 power ranking, and lately is pretty lately to me. So I have the Lions at 20, but we'll go to number 23. 24 for you. Who do you have at 24?
I got the Lions.
Thank you. All right.
Who does ESPN have?
ESPN at 24 has the Dolphins.
Dolphins. Okay.
Wow.
So at 23 for me, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And for one reason only. Fire sale before the season. Still in every game.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully a team can build for the future. Is Gardner Minshew the actual QB, the franchise QB? By the way, James Robinson, their running back, is a stud.
Yes.
DJ Chark
Monster.
Absolutely.
is a stud. So
Monster.
They have pieces. And by the way, this is the first time in a while
They have stock.
that I could say this.
absolutely.
Since-
They have
a ton.
stocks.
They have. I
Since-
think they have the best upside of all the garbage teams.
Since
Of all the 50% and down teams, the 500 and down teams.
I agree.
I think they have the best upside.
since Mark Brunell, Fred Taylor, and Jimmy Smith blessed the football field in Jacksonville,
Yeah.
Minshew, Robinson, and Chark
Yeah.
are very nice.
Absolutely.
So I think for me, that's the reason why I have him at 23. I can't put him higher because, listen, they play in a division where they're not going to have a chance for a little bit, but I think that there is some nice upside.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's I don't know if Doug Marrone is the guy. He's been there a little bit. I think maybe you have to move on and get a young, energetic coach in
Yes.
there, right, to kind of infuse a little bit of energy in
like
that
that.
team. But Jacksonville's at 23 for me. Who's at 23 for you?
I got the Washington, whatever the heck their name wants to be.
The Washington, what you call it?
Yeah, the Washington. I like
Okay.
that.
You
The
like that? Washington, what you call it?
Washington
Yeah. I'm gonna patent that
I
like
like
that guy
that.
did. Maybe if they change their name to the what you call it.
Yes.
I mean, I'll take over.
So, pretty much, the injury. I mean, Chase Young. Is it a 1 week thing or is it a multiple week thing? We don't know. Is Dwayne Haskins the real thing? I mean, yeah, he's only started a handful of games, but is this the future? And their running game is not one of their strengths.
Nope.
And yeah, their defense has upside. Absolutely. But that's about it.
That's about it. Okay. I mean, listen, that's it's fair. It's fair.
Here's
right?
where I have the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I have the Vikings here for one reason only: their run game. I think when they
Dalvin
get on the
Cook?
ground and
Okay.
they can ground and pound, they can actually probably keep it close like they did a week ago. Now the kid Jefferson has emerged. He has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. He was a monster. Was 147 yards, 170 yards, something like that. Over 140 yards. I mean, and a tutty. I think the kid put his name on it. He can ball out there when he puts his mind to it. I think when they get their things together, Kyle Rudolph get Kyle Rudolph involved, a couple other people. But I think yeah, baby, You like that baby? Needs to bring it down a notch and just play conservative game. Let them run the ball.
By the way,
run the ball.
how many years does he have left on that the guaranteed contract?
Two.
Because I think that the sands on that timer just got to be just.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think the glass is cracked on that timer. That's
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
spilling
yeah.
out quick.
I'm gonna
This time is
stun. I'm gonna stun you guys right now.
hit me.
Stun. What does ESPN have 23?
ESPN at 23 has the Lions.
Lions, okay.
Detroit
All
Lions.
right.
At 22, I have the Cowboys. And you ready for it? Our defense has given up the third most points in the NFL.
Yeah.
Dak
was waiting for
Dak Prescott has yet to make a career-defining play when he needs to.
Absolutely.
We're not getting Zeke involved as we should.
Nope.
We are not making the plays that need to happen. And by the way, even with a defense that is anemic, when you have an upper echelon quarterback, Russell Wilson at the end of that game marched his team down the field, marched them
At will.
and made the throws that were necessary in order to win that game. And that is the difference between an elite quarterback and a good quarterback. And for that reason alone, the Cowboys are my number 22. Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to say Jacksonville in 22. Obviously, they're 1-2. I mean, the only reason why they're 22 is because they beat Indianapolis. Other than that, you got your butts handed to you by Miami.
Yep.
And Tennessee actually hung tough against and probably should have beat them. So Jacksonville at 22 for me.
With what you just said, how could they be at 22? And I'll tell you why. The Colts have the best defense in football right now. The best. They've allowed.
Yeah.
With this being said, if they have the best defense, the Jags beat them. The Titans are 3-0. They hung in an amazing game with the Titans and could have won that game, right?
Should have.
So how could they be that low?
Because of the record, 1-2.
We're
We're just mixing them into the pack.
Yeah.
okay, no problem. Okay,
So we're getting to the 1 and
go
2
ahead.
teams. We're gonna. All right. So we're getting to the 1 and 2 teams. This is where we're gonna
at
go.
22, who does ESPN have?
Well, who do you have first?
At 22, hold on. At 22, ESPN has the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's way too high.
At 2-1.
Way too
Yeah,
high.
100%. All right, so
Way too high.
now at 22, I have the Cleveland Browns, and I'll tell you why. They keep it competitive, but they can't get out of their own way. Penalties everywhere. They have, I think, the second highest penalties in the league. I think aside from who's that? Vikings.
Yeah, Minnesota's
Minnesota, I think, is the highest.
Minnesota's number one. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I put them here. I think they keep it competitive, but again, they're not going to be what their record shows. This is like what we were talking about last week. You know, I don't think they're a true 2-1 team. I think they're middle of the pack, maybe a little lower, under 500 by the end of the season.
So I have the Browns up before I obviously will get to them. I have them as my worst 2-1, but they're not here. They're
Right.
Yeah. So who do you have at 20? Who did you say I had 22?
I had Jacksonville at 22.
Okay. 21. The Dolphins are my 21. They have a positive point differential. This team fights under a young head coach. Very nice young pieces for the future. And by the way, we haven't even seen Tua.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it is almost Tua time. And in a division that is very winnable for the future.
Oh, for the future. Okay, I was waiting for it.
We are seeing,
Because it ain't gonna be this year.
no, but we are seeing a young
Yeah.
emerging team that I think is going to surprise us for a long time.
Yep.
I agree, and I think aside from the new look Patriots, I think this team has the highest positive upside available, the highest ceiling going forward into next year.
I agree. I have Carolina at 21. I do. Again, their defense is okay. Teddy Bridgewater is okay. So, and they put points on the board. They're competitive. Again, middle of the pack, nothing spectacular. Carolina 21. Now, I'll start with number 20. Here's where I have the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
The only reason why is because they played besides Atlanta, they've had a really tough schedule when you look at it. At Seattle, at LA. Two pretty tough teams.
There is no at. There's no fans.
Okay. you know where I'm getting at.
I know, but they didn't.
He's just saying the way you're saying it. It sounds like you're including the 12th man, and the 12th man's not there. That's what he's saying.
They were an onside kick away from being 0-3.
Yeah. So how could they be that high up?
Just because of their off. I'm looking toward the future this year. The division is crap. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that.
I'm gonna have to bring the hammer in on this one. I'll tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. I wanna peel the curtain back a little bit. I want to let you guys in on a little something. So before the show, there's a very nice cafe here, PJ's Cafe outside. We sit down, we have a meal, and Mercado and Williams were conspiring together something. They were talking a lot of trash outside about how,
and it wasn't even about football.
They were going to take over the show. Andy Williams ripped off his shirt, and he's got a shirt that says "The Man," and they were going to bring it. They were going to do this, and then Andy Williams comes on the show, and he says, "I'm a what have you done for me lately guy," but hasn't actually stuck to that narrative. So this is what I'm going to tell you guys. You ready for it? I told you I'm as sharp as a knife right now, bro. Okay? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you into a diamond, okay? You're a piece of coal right now. I am going to pressurize until you are what I want you to be. Here it is. I want you to do me a favor. Bro, stick to one storyline. So if you're going to tell me what have you done for me lately, don't bring some crap to my front doorstep. He called the shit poop. Don't bring some crap to my front doorstep that makes absolutely no sense. I'm going to challenge you on this one. I'm throwing the red flag. What have you done for me lately? Or total holistic picture? Pick one right now and roll with it. Because, my friend, you are confusing me more than the debate last night. So pick one and let's move forward.
That was pretty confusing.
I need a Tylenol right now because I tell you what. I'm going to push back against my two co-hosts today because you want to know why? Because nobody backs baby into a corner. This is what happens, boys. You want the captain. You want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Here it is. You come on my sports radio, boys. You better bring the heat. So this is what I'm challenging both of you. Bring it. So don't tell me one thing and switch the story. Andy Williams.
We weren't even talking.
Nobody's switching
football.
stories.
Is it longevity? Is it what have you done for me lately, or holistic?
Can it be all of the
It's
above?
all relative.
Exactly.
It's all relative. It depends.
has to be relative.
Here we go.
We're only 3
It's like
weeks
playing
into
fantasy.
the damn
Sometimes
season.
you got the number one defense playing against the number
Here
10
we
offense.
go.
You got to look. I mean, if the secondary's weak, then you got to play the defense.
Exactly.
We're going week by week. We're going week by week. Right now.
All right, so you're gonna tell me. So you're gonna tell me the story doesn't change week to week.
That's why your power rankings change week to week. That's
I
why we're
understand.
talking week to week.
So
That's where I have
can't-
Dallas
why
at
can't
20.
What?
And that's why I have Dallas at 20 right now.
Because you didn't.
I got
say.
Dallas higher than that, by the way. Just
Wow,
so you know.
okay.
I got. I got.
I have the Lions at 20.
I got the Bears.
That's not
At 20.
That's not bad.
I got the Bears at 20, and I tell you. All right. Now, like I called it, Trubisky's out. Nick Foles is in.
Thank
I called it
God.
game 3, right? I
did.
told you they would pull it by game
Yes,
3.
you did.
But by the way, that's why I have the Bears much higher. Because
So do I.
they made this switch.
So do I.
Wait. But they haven't proven it yet. Just because they got Foles in, and now Jimmy Graham looks like the Jimmy Graham of old, but I don't think they're going to sustain that.
By the way, my man BD Foles, big, you know what Foles?
Yeah.
He proved exactly why
He's good.
he's worth
He is.
coming
He
in.
good.
He is. That
When
boy
there's
good.
a
That
team,
boy real good.
when there's a team that rallies around him, that boy can make some plays. And let me tell you, Mitch Trubisky, flop
Good and
city.
terrible.
Flop City.
He's good and terrible.
Flop City. And I don't blame you. I don't. If Mitch Trubisky was still in there, I would say they're there. I think because of the switch, I have them much higher up.
Yeah,
I
me
have the
too.
Lions. The jury's still out on the head coaching. I don't
Yes.
know how I feel about this guy.
I'm the same way.
Right? And their defense needs to play better. Darius Slay to me was a mind-boggling trade. And by the way, had that payoff, Eagles. And and you know, Stafford is a stud. How many more years does he have? And he needs more weapons. AP's old. Galladay's got to stay on the field. He can't do it all. So the Lions,
What are we on, 19?
this is 20.
Or at 20.
Who does ESPN have at 20?
ESPN at 20 has the Houston Texans.
Okay. So my next pick is also, I think, gonna surprise you guys.
At 19.
19. Who dat? Nation. New
Wow,
Orleans
yeah,
Saints.
I'm surprised.
You and I, great minds think alike, sir.
He's not 19?
You guys are both on the Saints
New
at
Orleans,
19?
biggest disappointment of the season.
Absolutely.
Drew Brees looks his age, cannot play without Michael Thomas. The offense looks anemic without their top threat. Drew Brees
Agreed.
is throwing interceptions we've never seen him throw.
They got exposed.
Their defense does not look good.
By the way, guys, another stat that may surprise you, he has the lowest number of passes over 20 yards.
Yep.
Yeah, he's 65% completion the other day.
That's 5-6% lower.
That's almost 10% lower than his average
Absolutely.
last year. It's last season. So, I mean, there's definitely a decline. Without Michael Thomas, I mean, listen, if you take away, if you got Matt Ryan and you take away Julio Jones, you still got Ridley. These other guys that are on New Orleans, they're under the radar receivers. They're catching in the flat. They're nobody's breaking out anything. Traquan Smith has yet to show anything. Even last year in his debut, nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
However, I don't have them here. I have the Chargers here.
Okay.
That's fine.
I have the Chargers 18.
Same here.
Okay. So a flip flop.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
all right.
Now I have the Chargers. Great D line. Dude, Justin Herbert.
I love me some Justin Herbert.
Bro, he came out, and let me tell you something. I don't know what the debacle is with Tyrod Taylor and that injury with the needle and the fractured ribs and whatever they
What
had.
was that about?
His trainer. This is a funny.
The punctured lung, right?
This is a funny story because this reminds me of the one time I went to the dentist and they wanted to inject me with Novocaine and they had to shoot me with 4 shots and they still missed the nerve every single time and my cheek was out to here
Hey, you're feeling nice though.
and I was beside myself.
Yeah. That's and for me,
the
Allen,
best.
Keenan Allen, dude, this guy just continues to catch passes
And
no matter what.
Austin Eckler.
Stud. They need to put a few more pieces
Yep.
together, but that team is that team fights.
I
I have them at 18.
I'm the same way. I like dark horse for a wild card
Chargers.
as well. Don't sleep on them.
Always.
Don't sleep on them.
Who do you have?
Here I have Dallas.
Okay.
All right.
All right. ESPN has the Cleveland Browns at 18.
Okay.
I have Dallas here because they're probably one of the more. I gotta say that. Listen, aside from Dak not completing every pass that he's supposed to, even the easy passes, not finishing the game, but showing flashes of greatness here and there in the fourth quarter, I think they're the most complete team. I think if they get it together, they can do some damage
And by
in a weakened NFC.
yeah, and by the way, what the heck is Dak Prescott doing throwing the ball 60
Wow.
times?
Wow. I gotta
in
say,
a
I
game?
Yeah.
gotta step in. Walk off in the bottom of the 13th inning. Freddie Freeman. Braves win the game on a walk.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Freddie Freeman.
And it was still scoreless?
1-0.
Wow.
Walk
Single
off.
to center. Pachi
Bananas.
scored, and it was a walk-off, 1-0, bottom of the 13th inning. Congrats, Braves, on a Game 1 thriller.
And we're gonna
Congrats.
be getting to baseball here
Oh,
shortly
yeah.
after this power
That's
ranking.
gonna be fun.
And by the way, also to throw it out there, the Twins are eliminated with their 18th straight playoff
They
loss.
haven't won a playoff game since 2004.
Dude, I am beyond stunned, and we'll get into it, but by the way,
Mm-hmm.
there is your trash can banging Astros.
Once again,
in
here they
back
come.
door. But let's
Yeah.
let's keep going through. We're halfway through. So at 17, here's where I have the Texans. Their opponents are a combined 8-1
Okay.
on the season.
Yeah.
By far, the toughest schedule in the NFL.
100%.
Deshaun Watson, in my opinion, is a top 5 quarterback. I don't think the head coach is right for him, but I think that for me,
I don't think that offense is right for him altogether.
I think that the Houston Texans will inevitably turn it around because the schedule is going to get much easier going forward. They played the Chiefs, the Steelers,
But
both
the
undefeated,
Ravens.
and the
The
Ravens.
Ravens.
What do they got to buy on week 6, week 7?
Something like that. I got to look at the schedule. So that's why I have the Texans at 17.
Okay. I have at 17, as you can see by this beautiful MSR helmet,
Absolutely, bro.
the Miami Dolphins. And very quietly, yeah, I know they're 1-2, but Ryan Fitzpatrick has actually led that team and kept the Dolphins
So you think Fitzmagic still got it?
Fitzy, baby.
Or do you think he's going to fizzle out?
I'm sure he's going to fizzle out by the end of the season, but right now, I mean, granted, they almost beat Buffalo.
Listen, the AFC East is horrible. I mean, Buffalo's the only team. I mean, and Bill Belichick. Other than that,
I love
how we say it.
yeah.
Buffalo is a great team.
I didn't say
And-
Buffalo was
no,
a great team. No.
But I think they are. But what I'm saying is
They seem really solid
on
right
this-
now.
on
I'm
this
believing it. I'm buying it.
But DM says this. Buffalo's a great team, and Bill Belichick. Great, dude.
Because it's him. That team. I mean, you gotta. Every season he puts together a bunch of people who somebody says is washed up. This guy was injured. He does it. The guy wins games. The guy's a winning coach.
I understand that.
The guy creates a winning atmosphere.
Yeah,
He is somebody. He is the glue to that organization.
I know he is.
And man, you can't. I mean,
Okay.
you have to
Who
mention
do you have
you can't say Patriots without saying Bill Belichick.
All right, who do you have at 17?
All right, 17. I have who was it? The Cardinals.
Okay.
I have the Cardinals
Wow,
at
that-
17.
And who does ESPN have?
ESPN at 17 has the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
All right.
I am at 16.
Yep.
So by the way, there are no more 1 and 2 teams
Yeah.
on my board.
Now we're on winning records.
Okay.
All
now.
winning positive.
So
positive. Keeping it
at
positive.
16, I have the worst of the winning records, the Browns.
Yep, and I agree with you 100% there.
My brief synopsis on them is: who is Baker Mayfield? Can Odell keep his head in the game? And will they really continue to be a winning team? For the first time, they have a winning record in forever. And listen, they paid Myles Garrett a boatload of money
That's a nice way of putting it.
to be the anchor, to be their Aaron Donald. And I haven't listen. He had a nice game this week, but who'd they play? Okay, so I'm
Fair
just
enough.
so for me, there are pieces, man. I mean, you're talking Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper. I know Njoku's injured, but Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. I mean, dude, this team, they are the paper champions of the century.
Here's the thing with Cleveland, and this is the cloud that's hanging over the head of Cleveland this year. Is OBJ going to get traded?
Every game.
Yeah, that's like literally. Is Odell Beckham Jr. going to get traded?
Correct.
That's why I have them at 16 as well.
Yep.
Again, the same reason, same pieces. Who is Baker Mayfield? I'm not sold on Baker Mayfield. Are any of you guys?
No.
I'm sure as hell am not.
No.
So Cleveland, 16. Mercado, go.
Now, here is where I have the Indianapolis Colts. Now, if Phillip Rivers can get it together with the receivers, I think they have a much higher upside. But I think they're what are they, 2-1?
Yeah.
I think of the 2-1 teams, they're probably the ones that are going to lose. It's going to go off the rails sooner or later. I like Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
I like Naeem Hines catching the ball out of the backfield.
Wow. You have the Colts at 16?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a little low for the
Now,
Colts.
now I'm going to tell you. Listen, I
That's a
understand.
little
I
low
understand.
for
I
the
think it's a little.
Colts.
I think their defense is overrated.
No.
I'm
No.
you. Who they played the Jets. I mean, who?
It doesn't matter. Look
know.
at who they played in the first two, with the exception of the loss of Jacksonville.
All right, let's
They
look
are
at that. They lost to
consistent.
Jacksonville, and every team has not had a preseason.
Timeout.
I
Go
think
ahead.
they're the most suspect.
I'm gonna have John rip you apart on this one.
I'm not.
Do
listen,
it.
Listen. Here's the thing. The Colts last year proved to the NFL that they were a top 3 defense. Look at their numbers
Yes.
from last year. They're now the number 1 defense in the NFL, and there is a lot to be said about who you've played. Yes, but your synopsis of this team is backwards.
Right.
The defense is the only thing we
Only
can
thing.
depend on.
Yes.
The offense has Phillip Rivers.
Okay. So let me correct myself. So the defense does have more to offer than the offense. I think the offense, once they get it together, I think the defense will
Their offensive
will
line is
even
not
shine
half
better.
bad.
Last year with
That's what I'm saying. Their run game. I like Jonathan Taylor,
Last year,
but I don't like Phillip Rivers.
Jonathan
but you
Taylor
have
as
to
a helm.
understand, last year, do you know who their quarterback was?
Was that what's that? Number
Jacoby
7?
Brissett.
Number 7, right?
Do you know what their record was? Do you know what this team did?
This was a playoff team.
A playoff team, bro. By the way, let's get past it. With nothing.
And Indianapolis still had the number 1 offensive line in football.
Listen, you have to understand, Danny. They added and a young running back. Let's get rid of Himes. There's a reason why they drafted Taylor where he was.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why they picked up Phillip Rivers, because they felt that his leadership, right, and his historically good numbers.
I think he'll have a good number season.
I'm not so sure as you are. I don't know who the wide receivers he's throwing to.
Right.
Outside of T.Y. Hilton.
Those are my questions.
The defense is the reason why I have the Colts at 11. So for me, we'll get to it. But if you're gonna have them at 16, I don't really. Your list. I don't really care where you have your teams. By the way, wherever you have your teams placed, there's a reason why you have them there.
Right.
All I'm saying to you is if you're gonna have the Colts at 16, it's gotta be because the offense, not the defense, bro. Has to be.
Yeah.
Listen, I feel you.
It has to
But
be.
I think I'm telling you, if that offense starts clicking, it's going to be the offense on that team that you're talking about, not the defense.
There's no way.
No.
Okay.
There's no way still. There's
no.
We may be talking, by the way, we may be talking offense because we're surprised. So we may be saying, wow, look at what they've been able to do with nothing. So looking through here, Jonathan Taylor, right? And the rest of their options, T.Y. Hilton, Zach Pascal, and Michael Pittman Jr. That's the rest of their team with a Jack Doyle. So yes, if their offense clicks, we may be saying, "Holy crap, man! This is surprising."
Right.
But bro, this defense,
It's nasty.
it is
right
Xavier
now,
Rhodes,
it's the only thing holding them together.
Xavier Rhodes, Anthony Walker,
They're not 16.
Darius Leonard.
They're not 16.
No,
No.
Grover
No,
Stewart,
no.
Justin Houston, and DeForest Buckner is all I have to say about that. But as I said before, I'm okay. I'm okay with all these guys are 2-1, right?
No, absolutely. Listen, it's not
right,
personal.
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
No, I know.
But the fact is I just don't. I can't see it. But okay, listen. 15. Who do you have at 15? Who does ESPN have?
ESPN has Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, very
At
good.
15.
I'll tell you, I'm surprised at 16.
16.
Oh, it's 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
At 15, you want to know what they have, or you want to go?
Go ahead.
Let me know what they have first.
They have the Raiders.
So do I.
I don't.
So do I.
I have the
That's-
Rams. I have the Rams. I'll tell you why.
At 15?
Other than Donald,
Oh, come on.
other than Donald and Ramsey, the D is mediocre. Jared Goff, he needs to continue to progress. They have no real running back. They're 7th overall in points, which is good, but you're 7th overall in points scored, but you're also lower on points given up. And keep in mind, without Aaron Donald, absolutely murdering the Dallas front line, the offensive line, the Cowboys, even Dak Prescott had him in that game. So the fact is is the Rams are very few plays away from also being 1-2, 0-3. So all I'm saying to you is for me, I'm not. It's not too far away.
Right.
I just think the Rams. I'm not so confident in Jared Goff.
Okay.
I'm not so confident in their weapons around them and things like that. But
I
that's
like
where I have the
Higbee.
Rams.
I like Higbee. I
Good
like
tight end.
Lot upside. Lot upside.
The reason why I have the Raiders here, I like what Derek Carr's doing. I like Josh Jacobs, obviously. And some of these young weapons on the edges, they're nice. I think it's a surprise right now that they're 2-1.
I don't think so.
Are they a playoff team? Maybe.
I thought they were before the season started.
But
You did call it. You did call it. I still disagree.
I think that they're at 15 right now.
And that's fine. What do you have at 15 over there?
Now at 15, they got the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go Saints.
Okay.
All right.
Here's where I'm going to go
fine.
Saints because, yes, the defense has shown flashes, but their corners safeties, what's his name? Lattimore, they flashes of greatness, an interception here, and then blown plays left and right.
Correct.
So I think they need to get it together. If they can click. Again, there's a lot of what ifs. They're just opinions, but I think they put it together.
Right.
It make it a little cleaner game. They can help Drew Brees look like the Drew Brees of old.
Okay.
Right now, he's
Yeah.
throwing dink and dunks and still not making those passes. Like you mentioned before, he's not throwing past 20 yards.
Right.
Everything's an under route. Sooner or later, those are going to get picked. If they know you're not throwing over, then everybody's going to crowd the middle, and you're going to get picked
And
left
the
and right
re-
like he did the other day.
And the reason why Vegas is ranked this low is because, in my mind, I think New England exposed them for what they are.
I agree.
So that's why I have them at 15.
14. Who do you have?
14, I'm going to stun you guys.
Probably not.
Tennessee.
It's possible.
No. You did stun me. Okay.
Tennessee.
You're right. You stunned me.
Okay.
I'm not completely
Here's
stunned.
here's
I
the
am
thing.
for that, yeah.
Here's the thing with Tennessee. Yes, you're 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
You had to overcome how many missed field goals in Denver? Like what, 4?
4.
But that
You had to come back against Jacksonville,
Was it 3 and an extra point or something like that?
something along those lines.
Terrible.
And you barely beat an absolute garbage Minnesota team who we have ranked in the bottom 5.
Thank you. Come again.
So, Tennessee, now look, if they beat Pittsburgh this week, I will say personally, I am sorry to the Tennessee organization. And I do know one person in the Tennessee organization who I will leave unnamed, who happens to be a friend of mine. But if they do beat Pittsburgh, I'm very, very sorry. But they are only ranked 14th in my list.
it's weird. Once again, you were praising Ryan Tannehill earlier in the show, and now you have a team led by Ryan Tannehill very low. I think your points only actually speak to how great the team is being able to overcome all of those mistakes. Remember, we kill our Cowboys on a weekly basis.
Oh, absolutely, because we're
professional
professional and we're
Oh, yeah.
professional and we're professionals at it. By the way,
And I think that we kill one, but you're not sort of showing the greatness of a team that's able to overcome it. I do like your point of being in a close game to a bottom feeder, so to speak. So I like that argument.
against not 1, not 2, but 3 bottom feeders.
But by the way, you know what good teams do?
I understand that
Good
they
teams-
win close.
The good teams win close. They always,
And they fight.
They always
They fight,
beat
yes.
the worst. They beat the teams they're supposed to.
Oh, of course.
So the fact is that's why I have the Titans higher up. But
Yep.
for me at 14, I have the 49ers.
Okay, that's not a big shocker.
I have the 49ers.
That's not a big shock.
I don't think this is really where they would be if not for the injuries. But anytime you're missing Jimmy G, Kittle, Mostert, Nick Bosa, it's easy to say they're not the same team.
And plus, we're not counting the other 12 starters on the team that are missing. And by the way, in a similar story too, the NFLPA is actually, they want to put real grass. They want to replace this turf that they have in all the stadiums, and they want to replace it all with real grass.
They should. Who's
Probably better.
Who's 14 for you, Mercado?
All right, 14 for me is going to be the Rams here. I have the Rams here. All right,
Okay.
number 14. Because, again, you mentioned before, Goff.
Those Rams.
Those Rams.
Those
That's
Rams.
right. Everybody,
Rams
everybody
that
sees
wish.
the accessories. That's right.
Those Rams.
Those Rams. That they wish were led by the Kurt Warner. autograph on there.
They wish they were the greatest show on turf, but they are
Wish.
not. They're the worst show. All right, they're the most unsure show. If it was a Am I Sure commercial, everybody would have sweaty armpits and their hands would be down. They are so unsure of themselves. They're Jared Goff, again, you mentioned that he's looking iffy. I've never seen him. He looks like he's not sure on the sideline what McVay's trying to do.
Yeah.
It looks like there's some miscommunications there, not just between him and the receivers, but I think it's from the coach.
But here's
I think they try to get too fancy sometimes.
Here's the thing. You have to keep in mind, too, when they were in Buffalo, they were one absolutely garbage pass interference call away from being undefeated and being ranked higher on the list.
That's fair enough. ESPN has Chicago Bears here. I think it's because they're the 3-0 team. Lowest of the 3-0 teams.
That they're the quote-unquote paper
Paper 3-0, yeah.
the paper 3-0. So.
That's right, Paper Tigers.
Okay. So number 12, number 13.
13,
I'm sorry.
13, all right.
13. Yeah.
This is where I have the Raiders.
Okay.
The defense needs to step up. Their offense is 8th overall, but the defense is in the bottom 5 in the league. Carr, Waller, Jacobs.
Yep.
Great
Enough said.
trio.
Yep.
Great trio. They have to do more to help these guys. The defense has to be there. Gruden has to get these guys together. He's got to be tough on this defensive unit. I don't want to bang a team up that loses to a Patriots team.
No.
Guys, come on. The Patriots expose everybody.
Bill Belichick.
So the Patriots expose everybody.
But
So
the way-
I have the Raiders at 13.
I mean, that's a very, very valid point. Number 13 for me is Indianapolis. Again,
Fair enough.
Again,
Makes sense.
I love their defense. I love the offensive line. I like this rookie, Jonathan Taylor, not just because he's on my fantasy team, but Jonathan Taylor is a stud.
Yeah, you called it. He's stolen
He
late.
is a
Wait till we get
stud.
to those rankings. I can't wait till we get to that.
Jonathan Taylor, I picked him up in the 4th round, and he has been putting up numbers.
John picked him up in the 7th round or something like that. 6th round.
Nice. Yep. That's a good pickup.
Steal.
Yeah, and I started in week 2.
Nice.
Been putting up numbers for me left and right. But besides that, this is a very, very quiet team. They don't make a lot of noise. You know, this is a nice, quiet team. They're probably going to win the division. They're going to be there. They got a nice, solid front 7. You know, not a great front 7, but a nice, solid front 7, a good offensive line. That's why I have them at number 13.
That makes sense. On number 13, now ESPN has the Arizona Cardinals. I have as number 13.
It's crazy they have them there.
I can't. Yeah, I can't. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers
At 13.
at 13,
Okay.
and I'm going to tell you why I have
fine.
them even this high after all the injuries. I know they played the 2 worst New York teams, which are by far the worst teams
Okay.
in the NFL.
Yeah.
However, also it's their 3rd string that's playing.
Yep.
And they still won those games. Monster wins.
The double A teams.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. They're playing with squad practice squad starters.
Yeah.
And you know what? They still destroyed these teams. They played as a unit. They played next man up football.
Yeah.
And it was solid as an organization, which San Fran, again, kudos to you, keeping the organization strong from the head down.
Which is a good segue because I have San Francisco at 12.
Thank you.
Because, again, you're missing 15 starters and you win. Yeah, obviously you play the 2 worst teams in football,
Yep.
but you're still winning by 30 points against those 2 professional teams with your double A team. So that's why I have them at 12.
I have Arizona Cardinals here.
All right, that's fine.
Really tough loss this past week to the Lions. In my mind, it keeps Arizona out of the elite category. Young pieces everywhere. Kyler Murray is the future.
Yes.
DeAndre Hopkins is
He's
top
good.
3 wide receiver. You have Larry Fitz, the greatest hands of all time there. The defense is very young. They're competitive. They don't give up too many teams. They're always in it. If the Arizona Cardinals would have been 3-0, they would have been a top 8 team.
Easily.
But because they didn't, 12 is where the Arizona Cardinals lay with me. DM, where are you at with this?
Number 12, I'm with ESPN. I'm at Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow, that's low.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, I
low.
like their defense, but they need to get they need a little bit more swagger, I should say, on offense. They're going up, scoring points, not really wowing. They lost to the Saints, which we have like 5 to 10 lower than
not
this.
really wowing. Look what they did. Look what they did to a Vic Fangio defense. They killed.
Respectable, understandable.
Vic Fangio is one of the best defensive minds in all of football, and Tom Brady, ate his lunch.
Can we still talk about also with that he wasn't using first 2 games? He didn't even throw a ball to Gronkowski.
Exactly.
Yep.
He didn't, and he won't have Godwin this week. Godwin got hurt. Mike Evans was banged up week 2.
Listen, I'm thinking of all the full roster. Right now is what I'm talking about. I'm saying they got a ton of upsides. Tom Brady.
Here's the best.
I'm not saying they're not going to finish over that.
From week 3, Mike Evans, 2 catches, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Baby.
100%.
So
monster target.
So
monster target.
You have 12 Tampa Bay there. ESPN. That's where ESPN. I have the Cardinals and you have the Colts. Andy?
I had San Fran at 12.
So, okay, that's right, for the injuries. So, number 11, we go down. This is where I actually have the Colts.
All right.
I put huge D. Rivers needs to stop turning the ball over and manage the game better. The Colts are going to be a tough out moving forward. If they can stay healthy and Rivers can keep his head on straight, that team is going to be dangerous. Phillip Rivers is in a dome. It's conducive to a positive throwing environment for him. They need to get him another weapon to throw out on the outside. Other than that,
So, John, let me ask you.
talk to me.
Now, you mentioned before, we mentioned history, right? Now, isn't Rivers known for getting worse with his picks in the past 3 or 4 years?
Actually, last year was his worst year. Before that, Rivers was still throwing over 4,000 yards a year.
I'm not talking about the 4,000 yards. He's a great quarterback. He's like the sling. Brett Favre would throw 5,000 yards a year. He still threw 15 picks. Now, what happens when you throw a lot of turnovers? What happens to the defense when they're on the field too long?
Gets tired.
Gets tired. This is where the point I was making earlier. That defense is going to hold up how long? If Rivers doesn't get his act together.
But you got to keep in mind this is a young defense.
Agreed. When the Jets had a young defense, we went to the AFC Championship. But let me ask you, what happened? The year after that, when we had no offense, defense got real tired, right?
Time for John and Tell. Time for John and Tell to call another guy out. I hate. You know what it is, dude. You guys don't understand, bro. This is like. It's like Pandora's box. It's like a Rolodex.
You never know what you're going to get.
A wealth of knowledge. When you guys say something, I store it in there because I like to use it for a rainy day. Unfortunate for you guys, the rainy day just happens to be the same day that we're talking about it. But before when we had the Colts, when we talked about the Colts, you said you talked about the upside as the offense keeping them in. You didn't say the defense would get tired.
I said I had them so low because I think the offense does have an upside. I'm trying to give them something positive.
No, but
the offense always had upside.
But you're twisting it.
Dude,
now.
if they're
always had upside.
But they're not showing it.
What do you mean? You just said before.
You just said before.
Jonathan Taylor, their run game. I'm talking about their pass game. You got to. Would you guys agree? You got to be a complete team to compete in this league. You got to be a complete team to compete in the league all the season through. We're only at week 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what a man looks like when he flip-flops on a statement that he made, and the backpedaling. He is a professional backpedaler, and if he was in the Olympics for swimming,
unicycle,
the backstroke would be the best stroke for DM over here. We're going to move on.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say ESPN. I want to. Go ahead.
I got you.
11. Go ahead.
Yeah,
11. I'm sorry. And then
12, they got the Bucks, and 11, they got San Francisco 49ers.
Makes sense.
All right, 11.
Makes sense.
11, I have Arizona.
Okay.
All right.
I like, again,
So the
Same
past
reasons.
5, we've like, just flip-flopping.
Exactly.
Past 5. That's all right. It's middle
Kyler
of the pack.
Murray, Hopkins. This team,
You think Kyler's trying to do too much?
no. I think Kyler has a good game plan. Toughest division in football.
Absolutely.
By far. Every one of the teams has a winning record.
We're about to get into that.
Yeah. So let's get into the top 10, and I'll actually start the top 10 with this beautiful helmet by MSR right here, which is
go.
why I have the Rams at number 10, because they were actually as I have mentioned, one garbage pass interference away from being undefeated.
Facts.
I like their offense, and in that loss to Buffalo when they were down how many points?
It was 15, 20, something like that. It
Yeah.
was a lot. It was a lot. A lot of points.
Because I wasn't sold on them the first 2 weeks. I wasn't sold on them against Dallas.
Yep.
And I wasn't sold on them in week 2. When they were down big and they came all the way back, that actually showed me a little something. So that's why, based off of week 3, that's why I have the Rams at number 10.
DM, what do you
At
have?
number 10, Rams, I could see that.
Okay.
I mean, I went with the Rams a little lower, but at number 10, I'm going with the New England Patriots.
And who does ESPN have?
ESPN at number 10 has the New Orleans Saints.
Ready
Even
for it?
with their 1-2 record.
Ready for it, boys?
Yeah, sure.
Hit me.
Baltimore Ravens. Here we go.
No. Listen, they got exposed a little bit, dude. But
Go ahead,
you're
go
going
ahead.
from like a
Go
top
ahead,
3
please,
team to like the
please,
number 9. So
please.
please elaborate.
Please,
hit me with this.
10 is.
Help me out, Andy. Hold me up, bro. Hold me up, Andy.
Go ahead.
No problem. You ready for it?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
This week, against the same team that the Chargers brought to overtime. Okay? The Chargers brought the Chiefs to overtime. Lamar Jackson could muster up 97 yards of offense.
Okay.
97.
It was abysmal.
It wasn't good.
And
He called them their kryptonite.
and by the way,
Should never admit that.
by the way,
Ever.
if you're Lamar Jackson, you haven't won a playoff game, you're 0-5 against the Chiefs.
Zip.
You can literally not beat them. You can only beat other teams. And I'm looking at a blueprint, by the way, to beat Lamar Jackson. And let me tell you this, guys. There was pressure on him all day.
Yep.
And the way he was throwing the ball reminded me of Eli Manning in the latter half of his career when he was seeing ghosts on the field just launching the ball.
That's a bold statement.
And I'm telling you this right now.
Wow.
Another
If
one seeing
Lamar
ghosts.
Jackson's legs aren't opening up possibilities for the pass game, he looks like he doesn't know what to do with the football.
Well, he's not a pocket passer.
And
We've established this.
And he shows this in the playoffs when it comes down to the nitty-gritty. And now it's the creme de la creme that he's playing, and they're in his grill. He does not know what to do with that ball. And
Chris Jones had 2 sacks.
and I will tell you this. I love Lamar Jackson. They are number 10 for me on this list.
Okay, before
That was strong, though.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that is very strong.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lamar Jackson also was 21-1 against the rest of the NFL.
Yeah, great.
And that includes, some of the elite teams.
When?
He's 21-1 overall in the regular season.
Regular season.
Oh no, guys, it's a rhetorical question. Because you want to know why? Because Andy Williams said he's what have you done for me lately? Type of guy. And here we are, week three of the NFL season, and we're doing the power rankings here on My Sports Radio. And he is a what have you done for me lately? But somehow he gave me a stat of 21-1.
21-1. Listen, I'm going to go with Andy though. I think they're much higher.
Someone should-
I have them in the
They're
top
way
5.
higher.
I have them in the top 5, and I'll tell you why.
No, they're not top 5, but we'll get into that later.
6-5. They're on that borderline, but they're much higher. I'm going to tell you. I think
Their defense is good.
because of youth,
That too.
they have a lot of young players.
The Utes.
The Utes, the 2 Utes on the O-line.
Utes.
All right? They got the young quarterback
I like
ready
the
to run. They got receivers ready to go. Dude. But
They got it. The
What?
one.
What did you just call them?
the 2 Utes.
What is
I'm
a
sorry.
Ute?
to youths.
Are you trying to tell me that the laws of physics do not apply to your stove?
Seriously.
That somehow grits cook faster on your stove than they do on anybody else's?
Were they magic grits? That's a classic. I love that. No matter how many times you bring that up, bro, that is amazing. So listen, they go out there, unless he's got some magic grips with him. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers here.
Wow!
I got
At
the
10?
No,
Wow!
I already said I had the New England Patriots at 10. I'm at 9.
Oh, you're
Wow.
a
No.
9?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
9?
9.
I got the Steelers at 9.
You have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 9.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it. That's hot.
Fine.
That's a hot take.
Okay.
That's a hot take.
Listen.
Andy, who do you have?
At number
That's a
9.
hot take.
And I like Ben's upside. I like he's coming back. He's looking good, but they got to get a couple things together. They got a couple people hurt. They need to bring it back.
Who do you have at number 9?
Number 9, I have the Bears. I have the Bears.
The Bears.
The only
what I got.
reason why I have them at 9,
Foles.
Foles. And that change that he made. That
listen, I
that is
understand.
it.
Guys, offense is bottom half of the league. Will they ever catch up to their defense, which, by the way, continues
They're good.
to, continues
They
to
are
be
solid.
historic?
Consistent.
And I am with
Big boys
with-
average like
with BD
325 on the
Foles,
line.
with BD Foles, with his hands on the reins. I have the utmost confidence with a 3-0 record that the Bears will continue to ascend to the top and compete with the Packers. So I have the Bears also at number 9. What does ESPN have?
ESPN has
Espn the magazine.
Espn has the New England Patriots.
Okay. Who do you have at number 9? Who'd you say?
He said Pittsburgh.
Number 9, I have
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
And number 8, this is where I have the Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
Okay.
I also.
All right. Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill looks great this year. No A.J. Brown, who is their top wide receiver. And by the way, they need Derrick Henry to continue to be a monster. The D continues to do big things. They're 3-0. The Tennessee Titans are the favorite in this division, easily, with the Texans being 0-3. And I'm telling you right now, the Colts are tough, but the Tennessee Titans are an old school, gritty. Mike Vrabel's got them clicking.
Vrabel's a good
He's
coach.
got them
I'm not
believing.
denying that. I'm
Absolutely,
not denying
Vrabel's
that.
strong.
Who do you have
coach.
at number 8?
Number 8, here's where I have Tampa Bay.
Another Bill Belichick.
Here's where I have Tampa Bay. And let me tell you something. Once again, with the exception of week 1, the last 2 weeks, Tampa Bay's been looking pretty good. And that defense is starting to click.
Yep.
And I think that this Tampa Bay defense, they're right on schedule for 10-6. Right on schedule. And again, this is the team that I have coming out of the NFC at the start of the year. So right now they're right on schedule.
Number 8. Okay.
Number 8 right now.
DM, who do we have? ESPN.
ESPN number 8 has the Los Angeles Rams. I think they got them way too high.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I also agree with that. And they're probably going to say something to the effect of they're a bad pass or whatever, pass interference away from 3.
Yeah.
I would imagine that that's what the synopsis for them would
Probably.
say.
Who do you have at 8? Oh, Mercado.
Probably got the Chiefs.
No. Wait, who'd you say? It was Titans, you
City.
said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I said Titans.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm sorry.
I was
Number-
like, did I
Number 7. You ready for it?
Yeah. Go
Number
ahead.
7. Never count out Bill Belichick. Cam looks healthy for the first time in 2.5 years. McDaniels is planning really well around him, despite major COVID losses on the defensive end in Hightower, Chung, amongst others. The Patriots are 2-1, and they look phenomenal. And I'll tell you what, I was never a Cam Newton believer, and partially because Cam Newton dresses like a grandma. But and it's a complete mind twist when I see him in like a bonnet and a skirt. So it throws me off, but I have to be a believer in the fact that Cam Newton looks healthy. He looks great. And Bill Belichick, the New England Belichicks are amazing. So I have the Patriots at number 7.
I'm going to get you a shirt. That's
Who do you have?
All right, number.
I'm telling you, bro.
No, listen.
ESPN's got who at 7?
ESPN at number 7 got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow, man.
Wow, that's low.
I know. Wow. Okay.
And listen, I had them lower.
Oh.
Wow.
Now
Who do
I'm
you have
gonna
at
tell
7?
you, I got Lamar Jackson and company at number 7.
Ravens. Okay.
The Ravens.
Okay.
Number 7. Never count out Bill Belichick. Okay. And here's the thing. And let me just go a little further. They have structure. Cam Newton is playing within himself. This is a great system for Cam Newton.
Great system.
And again, does anybody know who the big deep threat is? Does anybody? I mean, besides Julian Edelman, is there anybody?
Wait, can you say that name again?
Julian,
I was waiting for that.
who I picked up in the 11th round of my fantasy league? Julian Edelman.
Thank you. When you say that name, it tickles me
I know.
in a way that is special to me.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna give you a name that tickles you in a little bit.
I'm happy that I'm happy that DM is
Save it
here
for
to hear
off
that.
air, for God's sake.
So
I got it.
number 7 on ESPN is who? Is the Steelers, right?
Steelers, they had
7
yeah.
is the Steelers. They have.
6 for me. Tom Terrific looks
Yeah.
like Tom Terrific. The
Okay.
D is starting to catch up to the offense.
Yep.
They are utilizing Gronkowski.
I like it.
Mike Evans is catching tutties. They still don't have Godwin. Fournette is fitting into that system, and it looks like Week 1's woes are firmly behind this team. Tom looks like he's 35,
Looks good.
and I love it. Number 6, the Buccaneers.
And also, too, Tom Brady, we thought that he would learn the system, he'd get the hang of the system by week 6.
Yep.
It's week 3, and he's already got the hang of the system.
Bruce Arians, a quarterback whisperer.
Exactly.
Yep.
6, here's where I have Baltimore.
Okay.
And again, that's the only reason why they're at 6 was because they lost to Kansas City. That's it. Other than that, their defense is good.
This guy, I swear, I can't.
And
It was a disgusting loss, though. I mean, for,
Yeah,
for
it
such a
wasn't a-
powerhouse of a team. To
yeah, I mean they got owned.
wet the bed.
I mean they were down. What was the halftime score? It should have been
What is he doing?
27 to 27
terrible,
to
dude.
3.
Well,
but anyway, I have them at 6. I'm not worried. Yeah, you have a
Well, I'm glad
was
to see.
dirty.
I'm glad to see we're back on track with finally. What have you done for me lately?
yeah 6.
Finally, we're back on track. Very
You weren't
good.
supposed to let him get this much of the show, man.
Very
That's
good.
fine. Go ahead.
Very good. Okay, we're back on track now. We're glad to see we reeled Andy Williams back in.
Mercado at
number
6.
6. Go ahead, DM.
All right, so at 6, I got the Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
At 6, I got the Bills.
Okay, who-
I think they're a strong, solid team. They could easily, by next week, take over the 5 or 4 spot.
Who's ESPN's?
ESPN has the Tennessee Titans at number 6.
Very high.
Wow, that's way too high.
Very
Second,
high.
Much too high.
Wow. Very high.
Okay, top 5.
Top 5. Here we go.
here we go.
Aaron is proving to be the baddest man on the planet, baby. The team has the most points scored, but, guys, they've given up the 8th most points in the league. We shouldn't count on Aaron scoring 40 points every week, and for this is the reason why I have them at 5, because when you give up the 8th most points in the NFL, it scares me. And the last 2 years we've seen times where Aaron has gone through a little bit of a couple droughts, and if he does go through a drought, does the defense pick him up, or do they continue to be in the bottom half of the NFL? And if they are, it could spell disaster for a team like the Bears right behind them.
Right.
So who do you have at number 5? DM. Who does ESPN have? At
Number 5, they got the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
All right, so at number 5, you guys are probably going to be surprised. All right, the Seattle Seahawks.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm-
That's crazy. That's crazy. They have the best player on the planet on that team.
They have the
Crazy.
best player on the planet,
That's crazy. It's crazy talk. That's
but it's
blasphemy.
dependent on one player.
By the way,
And listen, it's the
on
most
one player.
It's the most
Whoa.
dependent player. The guy doesn't. You know, but
Just-
should he go down? What are they doing?
Yeah, but what if you walk outside and get hit by a car, brother? Come on, you can't say that. We're talking about right now. They're the best player on the planet. The fact of the matter is, having them at 5 is way, way too low for a team that has the best player on it. So you're saying
And one of the top 3 offenses in the National Football League.
Two.
Yeah, look, I see it. I just
Do you?
I don't
I don't think he sees it.
believe
I don't think he sees
that
it.
they're as complete of a team as the other 4 teams.
I gotta say, this is a Stevie Wonder type moment for you.
Listen, I got Seahawks and then I got Aaron Rodgers.
All right, bro.
I got the Green Bay Packers at number 4.
I agree with ESPN. I think Buffalo is 5.
Okay.
Yep.
But I
have him at 6. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Again, Josh Allen, great story this year.
Great.
He went from a QB rating last year of 65-1 to now it's over 100 thus far this season. Probably on track to be probably most improved player.
Easily.
And their defense. Can we talk about their defense? It's pretty darn good.
But the Bills always have
Yeah, they have a stout defense.
very stout. And I have the Bills at 4.
Okay, that's fine.
And I put the same reason. Josh Allen is really coming into his own. And by the way,
I could see that.
the addition of Stephon Diggs
Yes.
is proven
Huge for
to
them.
be
Yeah.
huge. And it's not being talked enough. And by the way, he was supposed to be a locker room problem in
Absolutely.
Minnesota.
Yes.
Minnesota's 0-3.
They also said
The
he didn't
Bills
block.
3-0.
He's been one of the best blocking receivers this year.
Agree, bro. It's a great point. Great
Huge
point.
point. They
he's-
said he didn't block in Minnesota.
And let me
they
tell
let
you
him go. He
something.
came here. He's monstrously
Right.
driving people.
Yep. So who does ESPN have at 5?
All right, so ESPN
4.
has the Bills at
Bills.
5,
Okay, who they have
and then
at
we're going to
4?
go to 4, Green Bay Packers,
So
which
they have
I
it
have at
flipped.
4.
Okay, so
right?
we have it flipped.
Yeah, we had the 3 of them
I had
flipped.
Packers
you had
5,
the Packers? Yeah, all right.
I have the Steelers at F4.
Okay.
Can we say enough about Mike Tomlin and the coaching job as well?
I'm
It
the
Year
starts from the
after
top. It
year
starts from
after
the top.
year after year. And again, this run defense, probably the best in the league.
Yep.
Ben Roethlisberger, if this is his last year, he might be going out on top.
Hey, listen, I mean, it's possible. He could be. I mean,
Pittsburgh at 4 for me.
Okay. 4 on ESPN we said was the Packers. You have
Right.
them there? Is that
Yep,
where?
that's
okay.
where I had the Packers.
Number 3, I have Steelers. The Steelers have the second best defense in the entire NFL. If there is a team ever, and I actually wrote it here, I said Tomlin and the Steelers organization continue to be the gold standard of the NFL.
Yep.
I don't know a team other than the Patriots who retool without losing momentum and not being competitive.
Right.
The Steelers always, Ryan Shazier went down. They picked up Bush. They traded for Fitzpatrick on the outside. Minka Fitzpatrick on the outside.
Right.
Yep.
They continue to
Draft well.
extremely
Yes.
well.
Lot of
Juju
talent.
Smith-Schuster, when he's healthy, is an elite wide receiver.
Johnson.
Ben Roethlisberger is an elite quarterback. Guys and girls, the Steelers for me are number 3.
Number 3 for me are the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers, what he has done, and he actually praised his coach.
Finally.
You remember a few weeks ago when Aaron Rodgers was pretty much just about out the door wanting a trade?
Well, because they drafted his
They
successor.
drafted a quarterback, and now basically he's saying, "Hey, by the way, guys, I'm the franchise," and he's showing why.
Absolutely.
And have they turned the ball over this year? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
0 turnovers through 3 games.
I told you though. The thing is for me, every point you hammered home is spot on. The defense has given up the 8th most points.
I get that,
That's why it's tough to
but
put them
also
over
but also too in the same aspect, they're putting up 40 a game, 35 to 40 a game.
you and I know though historically.
Yep.
That does
Defense
not,
win championships.
and-
Yeah,
and
I respect that.
and that never holds up.
No, never.
So it's very tough to say. Listen, Peyton Manning threw 55 touchdowns in a season
Yes.
and then ran into the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
talk to you later.
so it's you have to have something else up your sleeve, or eventually you're going to hit a wall. There's going to be a bad
Right.
week. Aaron Rodgers' ball's not going to be there. Whatever it is. So you have to listen, guys. Really, the best player on that team is Aaron Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, no, by far.
Okay.
By far. That's
Okay.
their number one asset.
And Aaron,
without
and
the
Aaron
running game
Jones
that
is
he-
having a great season,
Phenomenal.
too.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Sick. So okay, it's fine. And listen,
right, so
by the way,
ESPN has-
splitting hairs there.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. Listen, 3, 4, and 5, I think we can flip-flop
Yeah.
pretty easily. Seahawks, ESPN has the Seahawks at 3. Now,
Who do you have at 3?
He doesn't even know. He has.
yeah, I must have missed a team somewhere because I feel like I've already gone through all the top teams.
Yeah.
Who are you missing?
He's
I think at number 11 I skipped somebody. I think I was supposed to put the Bucks in somewhere. I think I
So you're
missed
going to
it.
put the Bucks at 3?
No, I'm not
So
going to
listen.
put the Bucks at 3.
We'll move to number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
I have the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, so do I.
Wilson, 14 TDs through 3 games, the most in NFL history.
Yep.
I have never in my lifetime. And now, guys, I got to see some of the greatest quarterbacks, aside from Unitas, which I didn't get to see. And really Joe Montana, I didn't get to see. Okay. I got to see.
I feel so old.
I got to see the quarterback. I got to see the quarterback era. Manning, Brady,
Yeah.
Breeze.
Rivers. You could throw Rivers in there.
I got to see the quarterback.
Yeah, definitely.
era.
Stat-wise, 100%.
Yeah, of course.
Brett Favre, all of these guys.
Yeah.
Okay, Troy Aikman. You
No
name it,
ring is
Jim
his only
Kelly,
asterisk, really.
Yeah.
Philip
Jim-
Rivers.
That's it.
Jim Kelly, all these guys.
Of course.
Monster, Jim
Listen,
Kelly.
John Elway, Russell Wilson is another level. And I'll tell you this: Russell Wilson, before this season started, he made a statement, came out and said, "I want to be one of the legends of baseball. I want people to think of me in the same light as Joe Montana." When you paint a picture like that before
Yeah.
a season, bro, you better deliver. And let me tell you,
Yes.
Russell Wilson was the highest paid quarterback last year before Mahomes got his contract, and he has embraced every bit of that. And let me tell you something. Russell Wilson gets paid $45 million a year. He played Dak Prescott, who wants $45 million a year. What quarterback looked like the one that you would take 100% of the time?
Russell Wilson.
So what I'm saying is both defenses gave up an enormous amount of points, and when it came down to it,
came
you
down to
knew
the quarterback.
damn right what Russell Wilson was going
Yeah.
to give you. And that is the difference. When people say that I hate Dak Prescott, you're fools because you're not watching the game.
No.
And when Russell Wilson steps on the field and Dak Prescott steps on the field, there's no way you look at these quarterbacks anywhere close
No.
to the same light. And,
Not at all.
And by the way,
Not at all.
Russell Wilson has no run game. He's running for his life.
He is the run
Tyler
game.
Lockett is catching 3 touchdowns. Metcalf is coughing the ball up in the end zone. And Dak Prescott's got Amari Cooper. He's got Lamb. He's got
mistakes.
Gallup. He's got Zeke. He's got Schultz. And you're telling me I got to compare these two? They're not in the same league, and it's embarrassing. So I don't want to hear this crap anymore. I'm past it. So number 2, who do you have?
I have the exact same team, Seattle.
Who does ESPN have?
ESPN has the Baltimore Ravens with a 2-1 record over the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I got to tell you, the only thing that I see here is maybe they're looking at it the way you looked at it.
Yep.
Even though I think your number was more realistic. What were you at, number 6 or 7? 6?
Yeah.
I think that's more realistic than having a 2-1 record as the number 2 spot. Again, 21-1 in regular season against it. Great.
Right.
You can't take it away. Numbers don't lie. But if you're 2-1, how are you ranked higher than any of these top 5 teams? You do not deserve it. This is absolutely overrated ranking. 100%.
Who do you have it to?
I don't know who I have.
He
at
has
2.
no idea.
I'm telling you, I probably got the Seahawks at number 2. Really.
But we can all. But all three.
But next week I'll have somebody else at number 2.
But all 3 of us can agree.
100%.
Across the board.
Number 1.
Unanimous.
Without a
The
doubt.
Kansas City Chiefs are the #1 team.
They have to be.
in
Ding,
the
ding, 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 ding.
NFL.
They have to be. They have to be.
Yeah.
They made the Ravens look abysmal.
Listen, the Kansas City Chiefs, here it is. Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, throw that thing down.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Done with this list, finally. Jeez.
We know historically that there is Super Bowl hangovers. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes. And they're still in that hangover, by
Yeah,
the
they're
way.
still. I mean,
And
they,
by
they
the
haven't
way,
recovered.
The Kansas City Chiefs won and are now 3-0. They give Patrick Mahomes a $500 million contract, and Patrick Mahomes is worth another $500 million. And I'm telling you right now, when players get paid, everybody who listens to this show knows
Yeah.
I am not for paying players
Half a billion
exorbitant amount of money.
Half
I'm
a
not.
billion dollars.
I'm not, because I never think it works out in the favor of the franchise.
No.
In this case, I can tell you, this man not only is worth that, but is worth more. Every single week, he shows up. He's the greatest thing that we have other than Russell Wilson in the NFL.
Yep.
I love watching him play, and he continues to be also another gold standard for quarterbacks in the NFL. So for that reason, I have the Kansas City Chiefs #1.
And also, too, as well, there was a quote which he said a few days before that Monday Night Football game. He said, these are his words, "I am nowhere near my potential."
Sick, bro.
Isn't that a scary comment?
Did you see that play he had to
Terrible.
hit the pass he had to his fullback, the shuffle? Tyreek Hill lines
Yeah.
up in the backfield. These are the things I'm actually on Xbox.
Backyard
Defense is
football.
Defense's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm on.
the kid
I'm
can throw
on,
with his left hand. What are we doing?
I'm on Xbox,
Behind his back.
and
Yeah.
I literally
The Magic Johnson of football, ladies and gentlemen.
Tyreek Hill lines up as the running back. He calls hike. He looks over at Tyreek Hill, fakes the pass, and shuffles it with his left
Underhand.
hand, underhand to the fullback. Nobody suspects that he goes in for a touchdown. Yes, he killed my DraftKings possibility, but all I'm saying is this: is that for me,
Yeah, nobody expected that.
yeah, no one expected it, and it's amazing to see. So this is what I want to do. We went through, guys. It was a great it was a great rundown, and
Yes.
we will do week 4. But here's the thing: MLB. I want to talk about it real quick. Okay,
Let's get it.
Tampa Bay is winning 8-1. Oakland might win their first playoff game here.
And also, too, with Tampa Bay, how about your boy Blake Snell? How about your boy Blake Snell
Here
yesterday?
we go. Blake Snell.
Yeah, I could see it.
Ring a bell?
I could see.
That sound?
I see the
Sound
smoke.
right?
I see the smoke coming up through the years. Something's bubbling in there. How good did he
Steaming.
look yesterday, Mr. Entel?
I'm not talking about Blake.
Yeah, come on.
Oh,
Are we a little salty about Blake Snell? Are
Mr.
we?
Big stuff doesn't
Blake
want to
Snell.
talk.
Blake Snell.
Here we go.
Blake Snell is filth. And when I say filth, I don't mean filth like when you watch something you say he's throwing filth right now. I mean filth like a trashy individual.
Dirty.
I mean filth as in
Soup kitchen dirty.
as in this guy is the gum that people place on the rails in New York City by the subway. What I mean by filth is Blake Snell. You are one trashy individual. And if somehow this makes its way to you, and somehow the last segment of My Sports Radio gets to you, you are the most overpaid, underachieving trash heap of a person in existence.
I told you.
And you are in
Oh,
comparison
you called it. You called it.
to Carl Pavano, and you're a disgrace. And by the way, I'd rather watch the debate 10 times over.
Come on. That's
Because
harsh,
Blake
bro.
Snell-
That's harsh.
I don't know if I can see that again.
Blake Snell,
Definitely can't unsee it, right?
Blake Snell, you are
96 minutes we ain't
Blake
getting
Snell
back.
is a poop streak. All right, I'm done with him. St. Louis is winning 4-1 against the
Go
Padres.
back for Wallace last night.
Wait, whoa. Say that again?
St. Louis is beating the Padres.
Whoa.
Oh.
Houston clinched and moves to the next round. Miami Marlins beat the Cubs 5-1. The Yankees looked amazing, and that's why they got Garrett Cole. 13
Yes.
strikeouts. Good for you, Cole. I'm happy because a lot of people doubted him, and I called up, by the way, ESPN Radio to talk to Dave Rothenberg, Chris
Yeah.
Canty. I called the show, and I called to talk about them because they were bitching about Cole not being blah, blah, blah. I said, guys,
He's Garrett Cole.
I said,
Yeah, I mean-
but no one wants to hear this.
He's lost twice in the regular season in 2 years.
They were complaining he doesn't have the same stuff. Shut
Oh,
up.
stop.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
So
Come on.
I like it, guys. Can Houston really make a push?
Well, let's see here. Houston is playing the winner of Chicago and Oakland.
It's about to be tied. The series is about to be tied 1-1. Chicago's rookie, the pitcher.
He had a perfect game.
game.
He's only the fifth pitcher in postseason history to make it to the seventh inning,
Yep. Great game by him. Had it broken up, but listen,
and then Oakland's winning right now. You said
Oakland's winning 5-2, top 8th.
okay, so that series is going to be tied at 1.
Let's say Chicago wins. Right now, who is your favorite to win the World Series?
Oh, you're just going to dump it right out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to
Right
add
now.
who's your favorite?
All right. Coming out of the AL, I think it's going to be based on last night. It's the Yankees.
Based on last night.
That's all I needed to see.
I'm sticking with my preseason prediction, and
Okay.
I'm saying Chicago White Sox.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see the White Sox.
The White Sox would be a nice story.
National League. By the way, the Padres just scored. It's only bottom 2. It's 4-2 now, and I'm still saying coming out of the National League is the Padres.
I agree. Out of the National League, the Padres.
Give me the Dodgers.
I don't blame you.
Give me the
It's
I like the
favorite.
Dodgers too.
Give me the
but I
Dodgers.
think the Padres have a more direct route.
Their runs for against runs against. What is it? Plus 120 something.
120.
And then the next closest is the Padres. And what a shame. What a shame too. If the Dodgers and the Padres have to meet in the divisional series and not the championship series.
Wow.
And they got to meet in a best of 5, not a best of 7.
Yeah.
Sign me up for the Dodgers Padres for a best of 7, not a best of 5.
If it's a best of 5, who do you think's taking it?
I still got I think the Dodgers would win it in 5. I think it would go the distance, but I think the Dodgers would do just enough to win.
To win it in 5?
Okay. I like it.
I still think the Padres are a year away.
What do you think they're missing?
I think they're missing one more arm
Absolutely.
Yeah, bullpen.
and the bullpen.
Okay.
Bullpen.
DM, who's your American League favorite? The Yankees?
I mean, I like the Yankees, but I got to agree with you with the White Sox pick.
National League
National League, I'm going Padres.
also?
Wow.
I'm going Padres.
So, Atlanta, the walk-off in 13. Miami wins their first playoff game, I would have to imagine, since when was it? 2003,
3.
right?
Yep.
They
Since
won
the
it.
Bart-
They
since-
won it in '97 and 2003.
Since Game 6 of the World Series.
Yep.
Wow.
So that's what I would. It was 7 years. It was. It was.
yeah.
It was '97 and 04.
No, 97 and 03. You had it right.
Was
03.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then
that's right. The Red Sox won in 04.
the year hell froze over.
Yes. So okay, so that's that. I like that. I think.
Oh, how about congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning for being
Bay
the
Lightning.
Oh, yes,
Stanley Cup
absolutely.
champions.
Champion. We called that one.
And
Absolutely.
Well, I have to say for me, I gotta be honest.
yep,
I did pick the Avs. So I
picked Vegas.
and you picked Vegas. And I said, and I was almost gonna make a little snippet, and I said, a playoff structure like this favors
A younger team.
a younger
Yep.
team like the Avs or Stars.
Right.
And those are the two teams, and the Stars were in it.
Stars were in it.
And
Yep.
I just felt that when you don't have a lot of time to think about things and you don't have to really come together and gel like the veteran teams do, right?
Yeah.
Like you saw the Bruins looked They did not look like
They
that.
came out flat.
And they were the oldest team in the playoffs. So that
Yep.
this is what happens. So it's really tough. And Bruzio makes a great statement, man. Tampa Bay's defense are all former Rangers.
Absolutely.
McDonough. I mean, listen.
The Tampa Bay Rangers, as we
Bay
as we call them, yeah.
So-
and also too, a point needs to be made, and I'm sorry to cut you off, John.
Go for it.
Also, Steve Stamkos,
Out.
he was on the ice for 2 minutes, and he scored a goal.
And they still dominated without their best player.
Exactly.
Incredible, man.
You could make the argument that was similar to a Willis Reed type of moment.
You needed.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree.
By the way, you needed the craziest part about it is the Tampa Bay Lightning. If there was any franchise that needed this, it was Tampa Bay. Last year, they had the most points, if I'm not mistaken, in NHL history.
And they lost to Columbus in the first round.
So for me, if there was ever a franchise that needed
A
this,
turnaround.
the owner issued an apology letter
Yes.
last year. That's how bad it was.
Absolutely.
Remember the apology
Yes,
letter?
I do.
So this was needed. So congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
And also another side note too from the NHL, the Rangers have bought out the contract of Henrik Lundqvist.
Henrik the King. Thank you, Henrik.
Yes, thank you
Thank you for
for
a long time of great leadership, great
Absolutely.
goaltending, great memories. And by the way, Henrik, you are not the reason why we didn't win Stanley Cups.
right.
Our offense failed you time and time again.
Our special teams
and made
failed you time and time
and made you stand on your head more times than you should have. And it really is a shame because there was a 4-year stretch where we went to the Stanley Cup.
He was
we went to the Eastern
dominant.
Conference Finals.
He was the
He's-
best goaltender in the National Hockey League for a 5-year period.
By
And-
far.
And it wasn't close.
And
Yeah.
and Henrik, it's bullshit, and the franchise let you down, brother. So thank you for so many memories.
Yes.
And by the way, at Mystery Sports Reveals, we're thankful to have many of autographed memorabilia
Yes.
pieces by Henrik, and we will continue to do so because you are the man. So thank you. I want to get into one more thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Get it.
NFL MVP. Who do you have?
Russell
Andy?
Wilson. It isn't even close. Russell Wilson doesn't even have, I don't think he even has 30 incompletions the entire year right now. Russell Wilson, the ability to win down the stretch, and the proof is in the pudding in these first 3 games. Russell Wilson, MVP. No comparisons.
Hands down.
I'm in with you. I'm in with you guys.
I mean, we talked about it earlier about when you guys didn't like my Seattle pick, but still, we talked about it. You guys brought it up.
He is the
being that he is he again a glue guy. He's the guy that he's the entire offense.
He is the best player. He is next to him and Patrick Mahomes right now are 1A and 1B this season.
All right, so that can be called. I mean, arguable 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
Who's needed more on the team?
Russell Wilson all day.
That's why I think Russell Wilson wins.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not arguing that point.
No. That's why I'm with you. I'm just making. My statement.
The difference for me is pieces. When you have a team with Edwards, Clyde Edwards, right?
Yeah.
At running back now.
And how good has he been in the first
Absolutely.
3 games?
Tyreek Hill,
And
Sammy
hands.
Watkins, McCall
Catching.
Hardman, and Travis Kelce on one side.
And also Monday Night Football, their offensive lineman got a touchdown at the end of the game.
yeah. The eligible lineman in the corner.
Gotta love that. Gotta love
That
when
was
the
nice.
big fella gets a
Always
touchdown.
when the big fella. Always when the big fella scores.
And on the other side,
Rumble,
you
young
have
man,
no
rumble.
idea who the quarterback is. You have no idea who the starting tight end is.
Right.
You're talking about
Everything's questionable.
You're talking about Metcalf and Lockett.
Right.
You say to yourself,
Carson-
wow.
You got Chris Carson as
He's
your
injured
lead
now.
running back.
Carson's
No,
done.
but that's what I'm saying. Who else is behind
Yeah.
him?
Who? So
Was it Carlos Hyde? He's not
who's
sustainable.
No.
Who's that other guy? Is it Carlos Hyde?
Carlos Hyde
Is
on Seattle,
Wow.
but he's
Oh, I didn't know that.
being there second. I don't think he's not taking a lead role.
No.
That kid can't stay healthy for
No.
anything.
So I mean, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
His knees got more hits than the Beatles.
We went through the NFL Power Rankings Week 3. It was a roller coaster ride.
That's a nice way of putting it.
It was a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster ride. We went to the MLB. We touched a little on the NHL. We picked our MVP favorite.
Real quick, and I'm sorry to cut you off. We do have a quick couple of minutes. NBA Finals start tonight. Lakers versus Miami Heat.
Lakers, Miami.
Very quickly, does LeBron get number 4?
LeBron gets it.
How many games?
6.
I could care less. I'm not watching.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I have an upset.
Go ahead.
Heat in 7. I have Miami in 7. And all I can say is this to LeBron.
Spoelstra's a genius.
Exactly. LeBron better win this one. You're 3-6 in the finals. You drop to 3-7 in the finals. I don't want to hear any more discussion about how you're the GOAT.
Oh, you're definitely not.
I don't want to hear any more discussion.
I got to tell you, he's the GOAT at putting himself in a winning position.
Yes.
But I don't want to hear not one discussion about him and Jordan.
Now, yes.
Not one.
Now, yes. His 10 finals, yes. That is more than the Philadelphia 76ers. They've only been to 9. And the Knicks, they've only been to 8. So
in a completely different era, though.
He better win this one. That's all I got to say.
The NBA to me is a, you're what do you expect to happen when you put the 2 greatest players on the planet together on the same team?
Him and AD.
So for me, it's a joke.
Then when they get tired, Dwight Howard's out there spanking everybody.
I don't even. For me, it's even ridiculous that there's games being played with the teams that are out there. I mean, the fact that like a Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can't get their head out of their ass with their team, and Doc Rivers falls on the sword for them. It's to me. I'm just.
I
just
thought
saying,
that was terrible.
I thought that was
I'm just saying.
I mean, there's times
look
I
at this
understand it.
playoffs.
I say it all the time. It stinks from the head down.
7,
But when the
7 years in the
I
losing
can't
players
watch.
tend to say it the most.
Yeah.
He can coach me, but I got to go out there and do it.
Right.
I just
Facts.
can't watch the NBA with this product. For me, it's very tough to say it makes sense. There's no competitive nature. It looks like they're
tainted.
It is. So I don't care for it.
understand where
That's
he's coming
me.
from.
No, I do
But
too.
that's my point on it. I want to give a shout out, Andy. You drove down again 3.5 hours, brother.
Yes.
We appreciate you being on the show for us. So thank you for joining us today on
Anytime.
the show. Danny Mercado.
Holler.
Next week is week 6, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, we're going strong. We are pushing onward and upward as we always do on My
That's
Sports
right.
Radio. I want to give one last shout
It's
out.
all about the thrust.
All about the thrust. I want to give one last shout out to today's sponsors, CKJ Designs, for our MSR mugs. Guys and girls, go out there, support your local small businesses.
Yes.
Etsy.com/shop/design CKJ. Get your mugs, get your MSR mugs, man. Go out there, represent. You have Talking Baseball with Sal Angeletti after this. You know he's diving in to the MLB playoffs.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Heavy.
Oh, yeah. He's going head first into those Yankees. 100%.
You're
He's
listening.
drinking the Kool-Aid.
You guys are listening on HamiltonRadio.net. Get the app if you don't. This is Channel 2. You're watching simulcast on Facebook. This is My Sports Radio. Thank you for joining your boy, John Antel, my co-pilot, DM Danny Mercado,
Holla.
and our special in-house guest today, Andy Williams.
The
And
great
MSR's out.
Andy Williams.
We'll catch you in 6 days, 22 hours, baby. See you later.
Stay classy.
You're rocking with the newest radio show on Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio.
Deals. And Bonds hits one high. It's a dig. It is on the all-time home run list.
Trainer right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. The heavyweight champion is taking the mandatory 8 count, and Foreman is as poised as can be.
My Sports Radio. And here's your host, John Intel.